I'm okay with creating boundaries so that nothing and no one gets in the way of it. If you get in the way of my purpose or the work that I'm supposed to be doing, you can't be a part of my life. And some people haven't gotten to that part of their life where they're like, okay, I'm doing the purpose work, so I got to get rid of some people and some things, and they're not ready to do that.
And yes, go 1, 2, 3. I got to be a beast and be like 1, 2, 3. I'm hot, watch me unleash, and it go 1, 2, 3. When you know that you the best out, chest out. I'm saying I got now, forget the rest now. 1, 2, 3. I got to be a beast and be like 1, 2, 3. I'm hot, watch me unleash, and it go 1, 2, 3. When you know that you the best out, chest out. I'm saying I got now, forget the rest now. I rap with the soul of Frankie Beverly, amazed on these graceful beats, forever heavenly. There'll never be none after me unless we talking let us see, but let us see. Begin on high notes like I'm lettuce. It's the real dreamer and artist formerly known as.
Yo, what's going on, fam? This is your boy K Nowhere. Look, I'm excited to introduce this guy. He's an amazing husband, father, entrepreneur, phenomenal speaker, leader. I want to introduce him as Brad Butler. Yo, what's going on, bro, man? How's it going today?
I'm good, man. I really can't complain. That's the first time I've ever been introduced as Brad the Butler.
Yeah, that was my that was my fault, man. That was
It's
my
all
fault.
good, bro. Listen, I did a podcast episode, and they titled the podcast episode "The Butler Did It," and I was like, oh, okay.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I was like, did what? I was like, I just came here to help out. What I do, but nah, it was all positive. It was all good. I know that I know the guy very well who um was the facilitator of the podcast, so it's all good.
Yeah. Yo, look, so it's been experiencing technical difficulties after technical difficulty, but we're going to make this happen. So, bro, as I've already asked you, who is Brad Butler, the person before we see today?
To be honest, I'm the person that I am now, or the personality that I have now, is the same, person that I was before, the personality that I had before. The only difference now is that I have purpose attached to my gift. So I use my gift in a certain way. I use my gift in a positive manner. Whereas before, I just had an idle mind where I was just kind of going in every direction, and just kind of it didn't really matter. Like you're partying, hanging out with friends and stuff like that. I wasn't like a bad dude like in the streets or nothing like that, nothing crazy. But I had no real direction for my life. So that's still bad too. But now, over the last, over 10 years now that I've been focused on this purpose work, people have been able to see me use the gift that I've had for, my entire life in a positive manner to uplift other people.
So what brought the change to that redirection into the purpose that you're walking in now?
Yeah, I get asked that a lot. I get a lot of people who are saying, yo, well, what got you started? And like, I don't know, they're looking for something, I don't know, Disney story or something like that. And that's not the case. Like, we live in a real world with real events.
Yeah.
I was chilling. I was working at my job. At the time, I was working for Verizon, where I had a good job, good pay, pension plan, 401k, like all that benefits. Everything was good. I was doing fine. And then I just got a message from one of the teachers that I had, back in high school. She reached out to me and was just like, hey, Brad, just wanted to check on you, see how you doing, see what you've been up to. And I told her that, I work for Verizon now, went to school, got my degree, got my bachelor's. And she lost it because what most people don't know about me, or what some people don't know about me, is that, I spent 10 years in special ed classes. And, I kind of struggled, when I was in school as far as academically. So for her to see that I went from being a student who struggled with, soft skills, reading, writing, basic mathematics, comprehension, not wanting to stand up, in class and read out loud, to then being someone who went on to get their bachelor's degree. She really lost it, because she was like, man, like the statistics say that you should not have been successful in that space. I believe that you could have, but I just, until you see it actually come to fruition, you're not sure, or you're not 100% sure. And once that happened, she was like, I would really like for you to come to the school and talk to some of my kids who are in special ed classes. I said no a few times. And then I finally felt convicted that like I really think I should do this. And then I went ahead and did it to the best of my ability. And she was like, wow, Brad, that was not normal. Like, you were able to hold their attention for like 60 minutes. Like, you need to look into making this into a career. And I was like, okay. And from that day forward, I started searching for a mentor to help me and guide me through my career. And till this day, I haven't gone a year without having mentorship or some type of guidance from my coaches and mentors who've got me to where I am today.
Awesome, man. So you defied the odds, and what I mean by the odds is statistics.
Okay.
And they, for society, statistics is everything. I remember when I was locked up, I was getting ready to get out. They sentenced me to boot camp. And the guy, as I was leaving, he was like, a lot of percentage of the guys, they always end up coming back. I told him, said, no, not me. That ain't happening. And what would you say to people who feel like everything is stacked up against them? The odds are against them. It may not even be statistics of what society to say, but just life is happening. It's no way I could possibly make this happen or I can overcome this. What would you say to them?
Well, I mean, there's okay. I'm not the best when it comes to math, right? Everybody who knows me knows I'm not the best when it comes to that. Was my worst subject, mathematics. But when I was in college, I did have a class called statistics. Ooh. And everybody hated that class. And I was not, exactly a fan of statistics either. However, the thing that I took away from the statistics class was possibility versus probability, right? Possibility meaning, is it possible? Can something happen? And probability meaning the likelihood of a thing happening. And for me, I realized that if I wanted to be successful, the only thing I had to do was find out, was it possible to be successful? And then what can I do to increase the probability of my success? So for anybody that's listening, if you're saying to yourself, man, the cards are really stacked up against me, I don't know that I'll be able to do this. The only thing you have to do is focus on the individuals who were able to do it before you, who were able to get it done, and what did they do to increase the probability of their success. If you do that, then the likelihood for you being successful is much greater.
Yeah, man, that's definitely a bar, man. So what was some of the, on this journey you've been on, what have been some of the battles, the struggles you have faced?
One of the biggest battles that I struggled with, earlier on in my career was that I thought that because I put all my time and effort into honing my craft and becoming a seasoned speaker and becoming an expert, communicator when it came to delivering my keynotes and workshops and, professional development and things like that, that was what was going to make me successful in business. But that's not true. I had to learn that quickly, that just because you're good and you're talented and you're gifted at a thing, that does not mean that you're going to be successful in business, because being successful in business is a different skill set. Right? It's something completely different. So once I learned that from my mentors, I was like, okay, you need systems in place. You need the CRMs, the email campaigns. You need the canvassing. You need the graphic designs. You need the website. You need the demo reels. Like, you need to go out there and make yourself known to the public. Let them know who you are, what you do, and how you do it. Your elevator pitch has got to be down. Like, those are the things that I had to have in place so that I could make my business profitable and get to the point where I started to thrive and put myself in a space where I am now in demand. So yeah, that was the biggest one of the biggest things for me. Just like, oh wow, being good at speaking isn't good enough. No, it's not.
So what about the character?
Mm-hmm.
And as the speaker, as the entrepreneur, what were some things as far as the character you had to work on?
Oh yeah, there were some things that I had to let go of, like some of the things that I thought were okay to do or people to hang out with or places to be. I had to stop. I had to change. And it didn't mean that for those individuals who do those things that they're bad people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in order for me to become as successful as possible in my industry and what I was trying to do, I had to let go of some things that did not serve a positive connection to my purpose in life. So, for example, I stopped drinking. All right. I didn't have a drinking problem, but I knew that spending money on alcohol and having hangovers was not going to help me, to get to where I wanted to be in my business. I stopped going to clubs. Like I'm not. I was like, it's a waste of time. I'm out all night. I'm getting home. Like I'm getting out the club at 3 a.m. and stuff like this. Like that's not helping me get to where I want to be. And then who wants a motivational speaker to come to their school that you've seen in the club drinking, drinking alcohol and, partying, whatever. It's like out to 3 a.m. Like, no, I don't think that's just, for me personally, I don't think that's a good look. Some people think that they can get away with it or they think it's okay. And that's for them. If that's what they want to do, cool. But for me personally, I just don't. And I'm not knocking anybody that does. If you choose to, hey, have at it, more power to you. But for me, I know what works for me and what helps me, get to where I want to be.
Hey, sometimes you have to separate yourself if you want to go further, because whether we realize, and like you said, not knocking anybody else, but sometimes those things can be dead weight for us. They can be, those things that's holding us back. And sometimes we're wondering, well, why it feels like I'm not progressing as far as I can, but you got these dead weights holding on to you.
Right.
And I think sometimes we have to do a reflection in the mirror. I like to call it mirror work. And you have to be honest with yourself on the things that you need to fix, the things that you need to correct. And is it easy doing that mirror work? No, because who wants to face them? Sometimes we're our biggest challenges because we don't want to see the things that we need to see in ourselves. So then God will bring somebody else along and point them out to us. Now,
right.
At that point, you have a choice. Either you're going to let your ego and your pride get in the way, or you're going to listen into it.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. There's a scripture that says in the Bible that says, "He maketh me lie down in green pastures." Right? I've always said I don't want to get to the point where God has to maketh me do anything, because if He has to maketh me do it, it's probably not going to be in a way that I like, but He is going to do it in a way that gets my attention. So let me not put God in that situation where He has to maketh me do anything. Let me just submit to His will and say, okay, where do you want me to go? What do you want me to do? How do you want me to say it? Or how do you want me to do this, that, or the other? So that we don't have to have that situation where I have the, oh God, why is me moment, when really it was for, the better, but I just didn't see it. And I just had to take the hardest road to get to where God wanted me to be in the first place. And I could have taken a much easier road had I just submitted and be like, okay, God, you want me to go here? You want me to do this? Let me just do this now. So I don't have to deal with, any of the issues.
Man, so you'd rather not take those 40 years in the wilderness?
I really would rather not.
I'm hard-headed sometimes.
I can be too. I can be too. So I'm trying. Like I'm really working on it, and that's also why I think there's a somewhat of a misconception about me at times, because they see my work as a speaker, as an orator, and I'm very passionate and energetic when I'm on stage, right? You've seen me speak before.
Yeah.
You've seen, my style, with the Next Level family and everything. So people think that that's what I'm like all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, if you listen to me in regular conversation, like with us on this podcast, you're like, well, he doesn't sound like how he sounds on the videos. I'm like, well, I'm just having a conversation. Like,
yeah.
I'm not delivering a message. Like, I'm not trying to challenge people. I'm not being asked to challenge people in that manner. Now, there'll still be some passion and energy that you feel from me, from me speaking, but it won't be the same as if I'm on stage and I have 1,000, 1,500 people in front of me like I'm used to. That's completely different. So people get that mixed up as far as like my personality. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not about to sit here and yell at you in regular conversation. What are we doing? Like, nah, bro.
Well, let's help the people for a moment. So give an insight. You have to be much, but an insight on who Brad is, not Brad the speaker, but just Brad.
I tell people all the time, I'm a regular guy, just like anybody else is in this world. The difference between me and some other people in this world is that I've actually found what my purpose is and I've devoted my life to it. And because of that, there's certain things I'm okay with creating boundaries so that nothing and no one gets in the way of it. If you get in the way of my purpose or the work that I'm supposed to be doing, you can't be a part of my life. And some people haven't gotten to that part of their life where they're like, okay, I'm doing the purpose work, so I got to get rid of some people and some things. And they're not ready to do that. So they just accept anything that comes their way. And, they still have that idle mind where they get swayed very easily. And I'm just like, nah, some people say I'm somewhat stubborn and headstrong, but that's only because I know where I'm going. I know my direction, and I'm not going to let anyone or anything take me off that path. I know that if I do get swayed from that path and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, then it doesn't just affect me. It affects my wife. It affects my kids. It affects my family. And it affects my ability to be a leader, within our community and like in all things that I do. So I'm not just thinking about myself. I'm thinking about, if I don't do this correctly, if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, how many people am I hurting?
Yeah.
How much damage am I doing by not being obedient?
Yeah. And as you was talking, it reminded me of a scripture about making your face like a flint. And you have to be focused like that. And I think for some people, they're looking on the outside of stuff and they're intimidated, or they have these thoughts, they have these positive thoughts, they have these negative thoughts. But at the same time, what they don't see is the determination, the discipline that it takes behind the scene. Sometimes those late night hours, those sacrifices. I'm not about letting nobody get in the way of that. And it's always the people, I often talk about the people on the sideline. It's always the people that's on the sidelines that's trying to entice you to come over this way.
Well, I look at it this way, like, because you know how people are always being jeered at when they're in the game, when they're performing, right? So you have, but you have what, two, maybe three different sets of people that are doing the commentating. You have obviously the fans who are in the stands, and they're jeering and all that because they actually want to be you.
Yeah,
they want to be in your position. They want the opportunity to perform, but they don't. They haven't done the work to. As far as doing the training to get the opportunity for a coach to notice them and put them in the game. So then there's that. So I really don't pay too much attention to that. Then you have the sideline players, the people who are supposed to be, in your community, on your team, around your area and stuff like that. And really what they want, if they're jeering against you, what they want is for you to do something wrong so that they can take your place. Or you have the ones who are supporting you and they're like, we really want to see you doing well because as a team, as you go, we go. Right? Yeah. Perfect example. If Tom Brady does well, then guess what? The Patriots do well.
Yeah.
Right. And then the last, I would say, section that you have there would be your coaches. Right. Now, if you have a coach that's constantly on your heels, they constantly, berating you. They not necessarily berating you, but they on, how it is when you got a coach and they really on your heels about everything. They constantly on your back. It just seems like sometimes you can never do anything right. Sometimes they're doing that because they see your full potential and they want to get all of it out of you. They want all of that potential to show up on the field, to make you the best player that you can possibly be. And then you have the other ones who's just like, if you see that they just don't seem to care, they're not really saying anything. And it's just, it's kind of there, just like, oh, what else can I work on? What else did I do? Was that good? And they're just like, yeah, you're fine, man. Yeah, go ahead. It's just like, okay, you might need a new coach.
Yeah.
So it's like those things I pay attention to. I try to break it down to the common denominator because that's just the way that I understand things. I cannot do the whole making it as complex as possible. That just don't work for me. I try to explain things to people in a way that I like things explained to me, like on a 5th grade level. And yes, I am educated. I have a master's degree in counseling and all that, but I just don't feel it necessary to speak in those terms in a regular conversation.
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask you this, because you mentioned this, and I was having a conversation with someone about this earlier this week. Why is it important to have coaches?
Because you don't know because coaches come with experience. And if you're a player in the game, then chances are you need the experience from the coaches to help you to get to where you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
But that's why it's important. Like, and I'm a former athlete. I played football. And I knew that the fastest way for me to get on the field was for me to learn the playbook and understand how the coach wanted things to be ran or wanted things to look like on the field. What I'm really supposed to be is the coach's eyes and ears when I'm out there on the field. And I'm a defensive back. Like, I played corner. So I played the game from the neck up. I did not try to hit everybody and blow up every play and like knock people out. That's not my style. I had a very finesse style of playing. My coaches on the other side of the team did not like me because they were like, he's not playing the game physically. He's playing the game mentally. And he's playing chess out here while other people were playing checkers. So that's why it's important for you to have a coach and not just a coach, but the right coach. You want the right coach for you because every coach is not going to be a good fit for you. And it doesn't make the coach a bad coach. It just means that you're not a good fit for each other. I've had some coaches that I've worked with where it was like, you're not a bad coach, but your style doesn't necessarily work for me. I know that I need a different style that works for me, that helps me get to where I really want to get to. And when I found Jeremy, from Next Level Speakers Academy, his coaching style matched my style as a player. So I was like, okay, he is going to give me the information and he's going to push me, but he also cares about me getting it right or doing it wrong or whatever the case may be. And he's going to let me know, hey, B, good job, but you could do it better. Or, bro, that's really not it. Like we got to work on that. We got to tighten that up. And he knows how to give the critiques in a way where it's not shooting you into the ground, but just enough for you to be like, okay, you're right. I need to do better. And I can do better. Or that's not enough, because I can go to Jeremy and be like, hey, man, I did this, blah, blah. He'd be like, good. He's already set 2 or 3 other goals for me.
Yeah.
Like, that's the type of coach he is. And I was like, wow, that's the type of coach I need to be with and be connected to. And I'm thankful for it, because not just Jeremy, but E.T. and Uncle E and CJ, they all coach in different ways. Coach Jess, like, they all coach in different ways. And Coach Crump, and it comes together like Voltron, if that makes sense. And you can get whatever it is that you need from those coaches, because they all coach you in different ways, if that makes sense. But you also have to be willing to accept the coaching that's being given.
Awesome, man. So I want to ask you this question. In reality, no matter who you are, we all have different seasons. We have the summertime where everything's sunny. Actually, last week, it was nothing but rain, seemed like last week, and it was cloudy. How do you navigate those hard seasons, or just a season where it seemed like everything around you was it seemed like it was just crashing? How did you push through those seasons?
Well, I'm one of those people where I have I don't allow myself to get too emotionally attached to situations. Like, I feel the feelings, I know what it is, but I don't allow myself to stay there, because I know, just like the seasons that we have in real life, the seasons that we deal with as entrepreneurs or whatever the case may be, those seasons don't last forever. It's not possible. So I'm okay with kind of riding through the storm, because I know that I'm going to get through that season and get to another one where things are going to be better. I just got to hold on. The problem is people give up. Right? Because you may face a storm and then you go into another storm and you think the storms are going to last forever, and they're not. They're not going to last forever. But what you need to do is make sure that you're doing work while you're in the storm, while you're going through those seasons that aren't necessarily the best seasons. You have to make sure you're doing something to prepare for the next season. So for me, I don't really let it get me down. I've had so many crazy things that have gone on within my life that's like, dealing with entrepreneurship and dealing with business isn't one of the things I put at the top of the list as far as, huge struggles for me. Like, yes, I have some bad moments here and there, but not enough to make me not want to do the work, not enough to make me feel like I need to quit.
One thing you said, keep working. And I often tell people, leave no days left behind. And what I mean by leaving no days left behind, it may be those storm seasons where you may have to take one step at a time. And you may have you're not going at the pace that you normally go. And we know when it's raining, in some cases, some people still drive crazy. but you're not driving at the same speed. I drive a Nissan. I got performance tires. It is certain ways I can't drive my car because one time I almost hydroplaned. So now I'm more cautious of how I'm driving. So, and that's why I stress people, leave no days left behind. You may not do as much as you normally do, but do something.
Right.
So, and I love that what you said. And with that, now we're going to transition for a minute. In your form, I asked you your list of favorite speakers. So I did some research, man. I put in some work on this one, some digging to find the perfect clip. And,
oh boy!
And what we're gonna do? It's a short clip. We're gonna play this clip, and then we're gonna talk about it. So this segment is let's talk about it.
Okay.
All right. So let's roll with it.
Boys, I'm just telling you right now, like, life is gonna be rough. It's supposed to be painful, but that's how you grow. It's gonna take time, but what's on the other side, it's always worth it.
I was at work looking for videos between yesterday and today. I got home today. I got home probably about 12 o'clock. Got on the laptop, still looking for video, and that was the first video to pop up. Strangely, it never popped up while I was at work, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm going to let you hit that first, man, and let's talk about it.
Man. So, obviously, my big brother, Jeremy Anderson, it's funny that his video popped up, but like what he was talking about is real. And it's so much stuff I can say about that because there's I can go into my bag as far as a coach, like my speaker coach bag, or I can go into just the personal development part of it. But to touch on like the personal development part of it, like with me being as if I was in the audience, what I'm hearing and seeing from that situation is an understanding that I've accomplished something, but there's many more accomplishments out there for me to get to. And the second I start to get complacent with what I've done, that is when I've lost the game of life. Like that is when you lose, when you get complacent and believe that your work is done, right? So that's what I get from it as somebody who's a spectator, somebody just watching, that art form, watching, my big brother, do what he does. From a speaking coach standpoint, when I see that and I'm listening to it, I'm understanding that I know Jeremy's style of speaking. I know the pace that he speaks at. I know the passion and energy that he uses and he exudes when he is delivering a presentation. What some people may not have caught on to is that he slowed down his pace and changed up his pace so that he can deliver that message for that audience because it was a graduation, right? It's a graduation situation. So yes, I'm sure there was some passion and energy that was to it, but in order for him to deliver the message in that atmosphere the proper way that he wanted it to really land, then he had to slow down his pace a little bit for them to be able to grasp it, because it's a celebration, it's a graduation, it's one of those things where it's honorary ceremony, that type of thing. So I just get a lot of stuff from a lot of tidbits from it. And I'm like, yeah.
Man, hold up. I gotta throw the air horns on that, man, because of how you literally just dissected that. And I mean, from every possible angle, and I'm sure you could go many more angles. So, when I found that clip, listened to it a few times. And I always tell people it's something else on the other side of it. I think you said it earlier. Just like with the rain, the rain is going to eventually end. And the problem is, you said this too, people quit too early.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why that's why I stress to people: be relentless, have that relentless mindset, because you're going to want to feel quitting. You're gonna want to feel like giving up. You're gonna want to do it. You're gonna cry. You're gonna have to tough it out sometimes. But you got to keep pushing. And you can't quit right here. You can't stop right here. yeah, I know it's hurtful. I know it's painful. I know it seems like one thing after another. I know it seems like one moment, okay, this done happened. Yeah, Job, I know you just lost your children. Yeah, Job, then this happened. Then you this happened. It seemed like one thing after another. But if you keep pushing, only if, you'll see so much more on the other side. You will see what God was trying to do, because in the midst of that, and this is the part that we miss, in the midst of that, God is teaching you some things. What is God saying? What is the lesson in this? And for every storm, for every situation that I go through, it's always, I'm looking at, what is it that I can learn from this? Yeah, this hurt, but let me change my focus a little bit. Let me look at it from another perspective, because there's a lesson in this. What is it that I need to learn? Where can I develop in? What is it that I've been slacking on, or maybe that I need to develop to become the person that I need to be for my purpose? And I think sometimes we look at storms and trials as bad things, but sometimes they can really be positive things, because those are the things that can help us grow. Those are the things that can help us become that person we need to be, the person of our purpose.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man, I absolutely love that clip, and I'm glad it actually came across this time when I was looking for some clips. But man, I'm gonna let you speak to the people, man. Just have it your way, man. Just do it Brad Butler style. Not D Butler, but Brad Butler.
No, that's funny, because the way that you said my name, like it almost sounded like you said D Butler instead of the Butler, but my middle name is starts with a D.
Oh wow.
So it's funny. My full name is Bradley David Butler II. So it's just funny how things work out. But yeah, okay, cool. So let's do it. So from everything that I've heard today, everything that you've been talking about, with the whole conversation that we've been going over, it really reminds me of those individuals who just check out and they just like, man, I quit. I'm done. I'm not doing the work no more. Like this isn't what I thought it was going to be. This isn't what I was promised or what I believed that I should have gotten out of life. And I've been working on this thing for so long and I'm not getting the results that I'm looking for, or I don't have the support system and no one's helping me and no one's been there for me, or you don't know what I've been through and you don't know what my life has been like and the things that I've had to deal with and try to overcome. You don't know the traumas that I've had to deal with. And when I hear those things and I see people dealing with those situations, it just tells me that their perspective is off. Like your perspective is shot, right? And it's a 3-step process. When you get to the point that your perspective is shot, there was 2 steps that you actually dealt with prior to you getting to that point where you pretty much just mentally checked out on your goals, your dreams, your family, your friends, everything that you said that you wanted in this world. Now you automatically just decide that you're done, right? Your perspective is shot. And the reason why your perspective is shot is because you have false expectations. And you have false expectations because you're a human living amongst humans who are all having a human experience. And somewhere along the line in your life, you forgot that. Now, what I'm here to do today is just get you to remind yourself that you are a gifted and special individual. Like you were brought onto this world and brought into this life that we have for you to do phenomenal things, special things, great things. But those things cannot happen if you give up on the dream. If you give up on whatever it is, like whatever that dream is, those thoughts and ideas that popped into your head and it wasn't you, it was given to you, right? You're the only one that can make those dreams come to fruition. You're the only ones that can make the dreams or the business or ideas that you have come to life. You're the only one that can do it because it was given to you. And how do I know that's true? Because when you try to explain it to other people, they don't understand. They don't get it because it wasn't meant for them to get it. It wasn't meant for them to understand because those dreams were given to you to bring to life. So I'm just asking you, or I should say it this way. I'm challenging you because some people like asking you clearly is not enough because we've been asking you to do stuff your entire life and you ain't did nothing yet. So I'm challenging you. Maybe you'll respond better to a challenge, right? A call to action. I'm challenging you at this moment to recognize one more time your gifts, your dreams, your aspirations, the things that you want to get done. I want you to dream big one more time and say, I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to do it the right way. And I'm going to do the work until I get the results that I'm looking for, because it's for you, right? There's nothing special about me, right? I'm just a regular guy. The difference between me and some of the success that I've had in my life and the lack thereof of success that some other people may not have yet, because they're just, not quite there yet, because they're going to get there. I believe that they will. The difference is I've just been willing to fail more times than the average person has. So it's not so much my successes, it's my failures that make me who I am. So ask yourself a question. Are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to, get knocked down 8 times and get up 9 in order for you to get to where you want to be? I'm willing to take whatever chances are necessary. I'm willing to do whatever work is necessary to give my life the life that we deserve, to live out the dreams, to live out the purpose that God has for me. So if you feel the same way and you believe that's you as well, then I'm challenging you that if there's certain things that you want in this world, go out and get it. Because I promise you, there's no man, woman, or child in this world that can stop you from attaining the gifts, the successes, the dreams that God has for you, but you. You are the only one that can stop you from having it. So please do me a favor. Get out your own way so you can attain whatever it is that you want in this world. And not only will it make your life better, but it will make your legacy better. And those who come after you will be able to benefit from the work that you've done in this lifetime.
Let's go, man. The challenge has been made. So what y'all gonna do with it?
That's the great debate.
Oh, yeah. And you said something about, everybody's not going to understand your dream. I thought about Joseph. He had a dream and his brothers didn't understand. Matter of fact, they threw him in the pit.
Mm-hmm.
And matter of fact, if we're being real about it, Joseph's dream didn't happen the way exactly to the full. He didn't jump to his dream the way he thought he was going to jump through it. He had to go through some different situations. I'm going to say it that way, situations. Not situations, but situations. He had to go through some different places and developed him to become that person at the right hand of the king. And when he got there, his family didn't even recognize him. So that's all I'm going to say, man. I hope y'all accept the challenge. But, bro, I appreciate you, man, for taking the time out, man, out of your busy schedule, man. And I'm grateful, man. You dropped a lot of gems today. And I know the listeners and the watchers, they're going to get a lot out of this. Man, where can everybody find you on social media?
I'm easy to find. It's Brad Butler II on all social media platforms. So literally just type out Brad Butler II, with 2 capital I's as Roman numeral 2s. That's it. And you'll find me. If you're looking to book me, you can just go to the website, which is www.bradbutler2.com.
All right, let's go. All right, for all of my watchers, my listeners, y'all already know the drill. No matter what time of the day it is, whether it's morning, noon, or night, leave no days left behind. You already know how we do. Be relentless. I'm K. Noel, your relentless motivator, and we are out.
Hey, aren't you glad? I'm bringing it back. My chains in the past. Got my confidence back. I ain't living in land. That ain't living like that. Hey, aren't you glad?